And joining us now, Ambassador Cindy McCain, the United States permanent representative to the UN agencies and the wife of late Senator John McCain, who is being honored today. And you've been doing, heroic work on the food shortages caused by the Ukraine war, because that is your main focus.
It is right now. I have the opportunity to work in Rome and work on probably the toughest issue that's facing the world right now, and that is our food security issues.
But let's talk about the award and Senator McCain. And this is a wonderful honor from his friend Joe Biden. It represents bipartisanship and the affection and respect they had for each other. But it's really his heroism.
It is.
And he's such an iconic figure to all of us.
Well, the fact that it's the Presidential Medal of Freedom means more to us, I think, than most people, because John was denied his freedom for so long. He was without freedom as a prisoner of war. And so when he was released, his respect for not only freedom itself, but how we attained and received freedom and how we maintain it is a large part of who he was and what he stood for. And
he stood for the best kind of politics.
Yeah. He did. And he was so bipartisan, and he was so, sometimes he could be a little tough to work with, but that was John McCain, because he was passionate about what he did, and he cared so much for this country. And I'm just grateful and so honored and proud for the family that President Biden would decide to do this for John, because I think it stands for so much, and I think John stood for so much.
Let's talk about politics in America right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not John McCain's politics. No. Would he recognize the Republican Party that so many people say they still believe that Donald Trump won the election?
I don't believe my husband would recognize it, but I do know one thing. He'd be fighting like the Dickens to be able to pull it back together and bring it back to what it was during previous Republican administrations and previous administrations as well. I'm still a Republican. I believe in the party and I believe in what we stand for. But right now we've lost our way. And so I'm hoping that as the years go on, that perhaps we can right ourselves and do what Republicans do best, and that is work for smaller government, but work in a bipartisan fashion.
The hearings that have been going on have been watched by millions and millions of people, and they've been compelling television, but shocking about the level of lies and deceit going on inside the White House.
Well, it's for all of us, and I can watch a little bit of it being based in Rome. The time changed a little hard, but it is for all of us that work so hard and believe in this country the way that we do. It's hard to watch. It's something that we must deal with in a proper fashion as well. I mean, I believe there's probably going to be some legal issues come out of this, but more importantly, it's a good lesson. And we're not being good examples for our children with what this represents right now, and that's most important.
John McCain was known as a maverick, and someone not afraid to buck the party trend. Do you think that's a rare quality in politics right now?
I think it is right now. I do. He was one of a kind. So when he passed away, the mold was broken, in my humble opinion. But yes, I think a lot of people. I think that maverick attitude is what made him so special, but also is what made this country special. And I think we need to encourage our members and our politicians around the country to do just that. Don't be afraid to buck the system, and don't be afraid to speak out on any of these issues, no matter what side you're on. But debate is good in this country. Calm debate, dignified debate is good.
Well, one current example of a Republican speaking out is Liz Cheney, and being punished at the polls, if you believe the polls, but not afraid to speak out, stripped of her party leadership.
Right. She's an amazing person, and I have talked with her both on the phone and, of course, via email, et cetera, during this time. And I just think her strength and her ability to look beyond the now and look for work on what's good for the country. And it may harm her in the end, as you said. It may, her political aspirations. But she can sleep at night and know that she did the right thing.
One thing that occurs to me, I'm thinking of Al Gore conceding his speech. I'm thinking of Richard Nixon, who, read on January 6th, 1961, read the electoral count that gave, and that was a far closer election.
Yeah.
In fact, it could have been disputed. I'm thinking of you and John McCain standing there. I could see it in my mind's eye right now.
Yeah.
It's not easy to lose.
No.
But the peaceful transfer of power is something that is fundamental. It goes back to George Washington.
And that's what makes us special as Americans and makes this country special. And in my mind, I think the speech that my husband gave that night was one of the finest speeches I've ever heard, not just from him, but from anyone in that kind of situation. Peaceful transfer of power, the way that we govern ourselves, the way we represent who we are, we have got to come back to that. I know people overseas that I deal with say to me, what's happened? Is it going to get better? What's going to happen? And right now, I don't have the answer for it. I believe in what President Biden's doing. I'm hoping that he can help right this ship a little bit. But, we have a long way to go.
I'm thinking of another Arizonan who is going to be there receiving this
Gabby
extraordinary
Giffords,
award today, and that's Gabby Giffords for her heroism and resilience.
Amazing woman. Look what she's done and look what she survived. And so I'm not only proud that it's another Arizonan that's getting the award, but also proud of the work that her husband's been doing as well, and the kind of leadership that they both exemplify in the work that they do.
I know you're a Westerner. I assume you have guns on your property in Sonoma. But what do you think about the gun violence and the way you're seeing these mass
I mean, I can approach
shootings?
this as a mother, and yes, we have guns, yes, but we use them safely, and we store them safely, and I want to be clear about that. But we have to do something about the gun violence, and I think what the Congress did is a step forward in this. I think there's more to do, and that doesn't mean removing guns, but it means stiffer background checks, all the things we've talked about in the past. But it's something. There's more to this than just the guns. I mean, there's mental illness. There's family division. There's a lot of things at play here, and so I think we need to pay attention to our home and pay attention to what's going on locally with our youth, especially.
Well, Cindy McCain, congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, it's such an honor, and
I'm so
such a
thrilled
great
for John.
figure.
I really am.
Thank you for your service.